Greetings to my professor and fellow classmates. It's a pleasure to present my presentation to you today concerning the understanding of the importance of the approach to training the new employee. And so, with that said, your approach to training a new employee or team member is critical in the development of the employee, team, and organization as a whole. When you have an effective and comprehensive plan for providing this training, you dramatically increase the odds of success for all concerned. I will cover the following 6 points of training strategy as follows: effective delegation, instructor-led training, open collaboration, teamwork/team building, a competency checklist, and a current knowledge base. So, failure to follow these strategies at the conclusion of my presentation is done strictly at your own risk. So with that said, we've all been there with a new employee, new team member starting up on the team. So the next logical question is, how do we get this person from where they are day one to a place where they can be a successful contributor to the team's daily, weekly, monthly, yearly goals, right? So that takes me to my first strategy for training, which is effective delegation. Delegation is a very important tool for a leader, obviously. It helps you be more efficient and have better use of efficient use of your time. It also helps develop up and coming leaders and helps them to be more proficient in different aspects of leadership as well. But this is very important to understand that when you're delegating, you have to make sure that you're delegating to someone who, one, is competent in the material that needs to be covered, and two, is able to teach and effectively communicate and teach these concepts that's core concepts of what needs to be taught and learned. And so, because without that, it could just not be that effective, because if they, one, either not very competent at the material, or two, maybe just not that great of a teacher, and then you're going to have the opposite effect. So that takes me to remember, it's very important to understand, even though you're delegating this responsibility or portion of the responsibility of training as a leader, you're ultimately responsible for the final outcome. So to my next point, a strategy for training, which is instructor-led training. Some corporations have different amounts of budgets for what kind of training can be provided, but essentially, when an employee goes through some type of structured training, when they come out of that training, this job-related training, they typically feel much more confident and much more motivated about what they're being expected to do, and duties that they're expected to perform. So it's very well worth it if your budget can afford it. So the next point is a strategy of training is open collaboration. So the open collaboration is going to help everyone concerned basically be able to share ideas, which will help the new person better assimilate into the team environment. So so that gives the new team member a very comfortable environment for learning. Okay. The next point of a training efficiency or effective strategy would be teamwork/team building exercises. I've seen it so many times in my experience, and just in what I've heard from other people and other corporate experiences, that your teamwork, your team building, um, if you don't really have a good feeling about your environment and your ability to work together as a team to get productivity suffers, morale suffers. So if you have a great team building, team environment where teamwork is a big priority, that new team member is going to feel very comfortable and is going to be much more easily able to um, be more productive more quickly. Next point of strategy for training would be competency checklist. So this gives the leader an opportunity to make sure that all the key important job functions are not only taught, but to ensure that they're actually effectively learned. And so that way you help keep the new person accountable to what they're responsible for in learning. And then as a leader, you make sure that you're operating all cylinders and then you're minimizing your weaknesses on your team. And so the sixth and final point of leadership training, I would say, will be a current knowledge base. A current knowledge base is going to help that new employee um, basically be able to operate to some degree, a certain level of independence, depending on how robust and how well documented your knowledge base is. Maybe the person is providing the training is not available at a critical time when a decision needs to be made or a solution needs to be obtained. So having a good knowledge base will allow that new employee to have more of a comfort level to be able to uh, quickly access really important problem solving type of information. Okay, so those are very important strategies for training. And so if you think about it this way, if your new employee or new team member is absolutely going at half speed and that gets duplicated and triple per as new members are added to the team. At some point, you're going to have an environment. You're going to have a team of dysfunction. You're going to have people um, looking to just exit as quickly as possible because at some point they're going to be feeling like they're carrying all the weight. And so once you have an environment, team environment where people are feeling like they're carrying all of the weight and they're not getting enough help, that's when um, the team members that are new or they actually want to help as much as they can, but it's really about the training of that new employee that's going to help that person maximize what they can bring to the table to help. And so failure to do that, to give that new employee the training that they need, is basically failing the team and the organization as a whole. Okay, so hopefully I was able to basically illustrate the six really, in my opinion, very critical training uh, techniques. And so basically, in summary, and if I was hopefully able to um, bring some excitement uh, in terms of your approach to training the new employee with the following. As we said, effective delegation, instructor-led training, open collaboration, so that, and then teamwork, team building, competency checklist, and finally, a current knowledge base. All these things together combined helps that new employee have a very good comfort level what he or she is expected to provide on a day-to-day basis. It helps the team. It contributes to the entire team feeling very confident that everybody's pulling their weight. And finally, it contributes to the success of the organization as a whole. And so when the organization is doing really well, obviously that trickles down to everyone who else that contributes along the way, and it makes everybody's job that much easier. Well, it's been very much a pleasure to present this presentation to you. Hope you got something out of it. It was fun for me, and I look forward to speaking with you at some future time, and I look forward to seeing all of your videos as well. Take care. Thank you.